This is Tech Trivia answered in the form of a question. Today's contestants are an ultimate Frisbee player, hailing from New Jersey, Marquez Brownlee. A sword spinning person from Los Angeles, California, Justine Ezerick. And one of those Tesla guys from Salt Lake City, Utah, Quinn Nelson. Today, 3 games will be played, each with 3 rounds and 3 contestants. They'll have their tech knowledge tested with extremely challenging questions from across the tech world. The victors of the first 2 games will progress to the championship game to face a special mystery opponent. And here he is, the host of Tech Trivia answered in the form of a question, Linus Sebastian!
Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome to our totally non-infringing show, Tech Trivia answered in the form of a question. Thank you for welcoming me, Riley, and I want to welcome our incredibly talented and hopefully knowledgeable guests to what is going to be a very, very challenging round of play. Of course, the show is brought to you today by Intel, and our categories today are Apple Firsts, the Headphone Zone, Tech R Us, where all the answers will end in R, IDK, Ask Brandon, It Started Here, and finally, Word to Your Motherboard, where all the answers will contain letters from the word motherboard. Marquez, as is customary, you on the far left, you'll go first.
Fantastic. Let's go Ask Brandon for 100.
A 3-letter measure of the sensitivity of an image sensor to film or light. Quinn?
What is ISO?
Correct.
Let's do the headphone zone for 300.
No headphone jack? Use this Bluetooth codec championed by Apple. That's the standard now for lossy digital audio compression. Marquez.
What is AAC?
That is correct.
Brandon for 400.
Light reflections within these lenses are elliptical rather than round, as in ordinary cinematography. Marquez.
What are... Oh, God, I'm blanking. Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
I blanked.
Quinn.
What is anamorphic?
That is correct. Geez, this is getting intense
Nice.
already. Quinn, go ahead.
Let's do Apple Firsts for 200.
This was the first Apple smartphone to feature 4G LTE support. Quinn.
What is the iPhone 4?
I'm sorry. Marquez.
What is the iPhone 4S?
Ooh, I'm really sorry.
What is the iPhone 5?
You do need to use your buzzer, Justine.
But I clicked it!
Justine, it's your pick.
Let's do Apple Firsts for 300.
The original iPod used a FireWire connection and could store only this much data. Quinn.
What is 5 gigabytes?
That is correct. Great job. You are now out in the lead.
Let's do Tech R Us for 300.
The disastrous convention that ended with an infamous photo of a kiddie pool catered to users of this service. What is Tumblr?
Word to Your Motherboard for 200.
Don't want a graphical user interface? Use the OS described by this platform-independent acronym. The answer is, what is DOS? Quinn, pick another one for us.
Word to Your Motherboard for 300.
Oh, you want more?
Yeah.
This line of ultra-low voltage microprocessors is designed by Intel. Quinn.
What is Core M?
Sorry, I don't believe motherboard has a C in it.
Oh, motherboard.
Yeah, that's rough. Yes, Justine.
What is Evo?
Unfortunately, that is not a line of ultra-low voltage microprocessors. Marquez, you want a piece of this action? Atom.
Oh, man, jeez.
How about Apple Firsts for 400?
One of Apple's original founders. He left the company fewer than 2 weeks after its formation. Who is Ronald Wayne?
Headphone zone for 100, please.
Not to be confused with earbuds, IEMs are a similar style of audio device whose letters stand for this. Marquez.
What are in-ear monitors?
Correct.
Let's do Headphone Zone 200.
Bear Dynamic is a well-known headphone maker hailing from this country. Quinn,
What is Germany?
what is Germany indeed? That's right.
Let's do It Started Here for 200.
This relentless company chose Seattle as their home in part because of state tax laws. What is Amazon? Go ahead
Let's
again.
choose a different category. How about IDK, ask Brandon for 300?
This number is generally given as the temperature of daylight at noon. Justine,
I don't know what oh God, what is, I have, 50, what is 5,400? I don't, God.
oh, I'm sorry.
Out.
Quinn,
What is 5,600?
5,600.
K, Kelvin.
Yes, I'll allow it.
Let's do Headphone Zone for 400.
The name of this expensive type of headphone driver might make you think of your clothes sticking together in the dryer. Quinn,
What is electrostatic?
that is correct. You are crushing it, my dude. What's next?
Thank you. Let's blow it with Headphone Zone for 500, please.
As a rule of thumb, headphone impedance should be this many times higher than a paired amplifier's output impedance. Quinn,
What is double?
I'm sorry. What is 8 times?
Let's go back to the fun ones. Word to your motherboard for 400, please.
This user is granted access to all posts and threads for the purpose of focusing discussion and neutralizing spam. Marquez,
What is a mod?
I'll accept it. Moderator also only contains letters from the word motherboard.
Word to your motherboard, 500.
Originating in MIT's Artificial Intelligence Lab, this household helper sold 1 million units by 2004. Quinn,
What is Roomba?
that is correct.
Let's do Apple firsts for 100, please.
Apple only produced around 200 units of this, its first ever product. Quinn,
What is Apple One?
right.
Let's go to TechRS for 200.
This former Microsoft executive now owns the LA Clippers. Yes, Marquez,
Who is Steve Ballmer?
that is right.
Word to your motherboard for 100.
Linus famously grew one of these during the COVID-19 pandemic. Who put this in here? Marquez,
What is a beard?
what is it? That is right.
Ask Brandon for 200, please.
Unlike a zoom lens, the focal length of these can't be varied. Marquez,
What is a prime?
that is correct.
Brandon, 500, please.
To determine the slowest shutter speed for hand-holding without noticeable blur, use this rule of thumb. We really did have Brandon create these questions. Yes, Quinn.
Oh, shoot. Double the ISO.
The 1 millimeter rule or reciprocal rule.
All right. It started here for 100.
Now headquartered in Seoul, this Korean giant was founded in the smaller city of Daegu. Quinn,
What is Samsung?
correct.
Okay, let's go to Apple first for 500, please.
Apple's official name for the color featured on the very first iMac. Quinn,
What is Bondi Blue?
fantastic.
Let's go to TechRS for 100.
You've got our bonus question where you wager your money. Now you've got $1,400, which means you can wager up to the entire amount for an opportunity to double your money. How much would you like to wager?
How much money does Marquez have?
Marquez is at $700 and you are at $1,400.
Oh, let's do 200, please.
200. All right, Wimpy Doodle. This microblogging service took off in popularity during the 2007 edition of South by Southwest.
What is Twitter?
Don't you wish you'd wagered more than 200, Quinn?
Yeah, I do. Let's do It Started Here for 300.
Founded in Endicott, New York, this century-old titan of the computer industry is now headquartered just north of NYC. Quinn,
What is IBM?
correct. Damn, Daniel.
Let's do TechRS for 400.
This side effect of vertical sync can make your game animations look choppy, even when FPS is high. What is microstutter?
Let's do TechRS for 500.
This device converts alternating current to direct current, but not the other way around. What is a rectifier?
Let's do It Started Here for 400.
This city on the Turquoise Trail is the birthplace of Microsoft. Quinn,
What is Redmond?
No, I'm sorry. Redmond is their current headquarters location. What is Albuquerque? I know there's only one left, but if you could just formally pick it.
It started here for 500, please.
The first electronic stored program computer was built in 1948 in this northern English city. What is Manchester?
Oh, right.
Okay.
I knew
Got
that.
it.
Manchester baby. Well, that's it for our first round. Quinn is leading the field with $1,500 of my money. Marquez has $700 and Justine is at negative $400. But ladies and gentlemen, this thing is far from over because in round 2, all of the categories are worth double. Thanks again to Intel for sponsoring this video, and we will be back after these messages. Thanks to Intel for sponsoring today's event. Their 11th gen Core Tiger Lake H processors are built with efficiency in mind and feature accelerated AI performance. Plus, with clock speeds of up to 5 gigahertz, you can game anywhere, anytime. Learn more at the link down below. Quinn, my man, you are absolutely slaying it today. Tell me how you prepared for the show.
By not doing any preparation. I kind of regret it now, a little bit, but you know, whatever.
Well, we did say this was going to be extremely challenging, didn't we? Justine, I know everyone is absolutely dying to know this about you. If you could go 500 years in the past, what is the one gadget that you would take back with you?
I mean, my iPhone, of course. I mean, really, like, would anybody be surprised?
But there's no cellular.
That's a good point. I'm gonna have to get back to you.
And, you know, Marquez, you've got a pretty small audience. How exciting is it for you, you know, being on the show here today? Is there anyone special at home that's watching you right now?
This is big for me. This is huge for me, man. I just want to shout out to everybody watching at home. This is exciting.
All right, we are back with round 2, where, as I mentioned, every answer is worth double the money. Our topics are visual artifacts, Android treats, critical color, schooled, in the 1980s, and one more thing. As our lowest scoring competitor, Justine, you kick us off.
Oh, this is great. Striving for some points here. Let's go with one more thing for 200.
I kind of thought you'd go there. One of the more recent uses of the term. This product was the first in the series to feature an OLED screen. What is iPhone 10?
We all knew that, don't worry.
Yes.
One more thing for 400.
Presented as a replacement for the PowerBook lineup, Apple unveiled this new product line during the 2006 keynote. Yes, Justine?
What is the MacBook Air?
Ooh, unfortunately, the MacBook Air was not a PowerBook replacement. Quinn?
What is the MacBook Pro?
That's right.
Let's do one more thing for 600.
The smallest iteration of their portable music player to date, this device's announcement closed Macworld 2005. Marquez?
What is the iPod Shuffle?
Correct.
Critical color, 200.
This is the process of measuring and adjusting the colors on your display to match a common standard. Justine?
What is calibration?
Correct.
Let's do one more thing for 800.
You're at minus $600 at the moment, which means you don't, strictly speaking, have any money to wager, but we have a way around that. You're allowed up to $500, which could almost bring you out of the hole. What will you wager?
Let's go for 500, Linus. I'm ready.
She's going for gold. During WWDC 2004, Apple revealed the 30-inch Apple Cinema display, which had this less common resolution. No shot at it?
Sure. I don't remember.
The answer is 2560 by 1600. It was a 16 by 10 display.
Let's do in the 1980s for 200.
This 1987 PC from IBM mostly became known for its mouse and keyboard connectors. Yes, Quinn?
What is PCAT?
Ooh, sorry. What is PS2 or Personal System 2?
Oh boy, let's go for in the 1980s for 400.
He directed the Orwellian commercial for the first ever Apple Macintosh. Who is Ridley Scott? Don't worry though, guys. Everyone expects celebrity tech trivia answered in the form of a question to sort of be at a lower standard. Justine, go ahead.
Oh, let's stay with the 80s for 600.
This motocross-themed game from 1985 was one of the launch titles for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. What is Excite Bike? Pick again for us, Justine.
You know what? I think I might be one of the only people that was born in the 80s, so let's go with the 80s for 800.
In 1983, Sony battled in court both Disney and this company over whether taping TV shows at home constituted copyright infringement. What is Universal or Universal Studios?
All right, let's go within the 80s for 1,000. Let's just get this off the board.
You only live once. America's first commercial internet service provider was founded in 1989 in this Boston suburb. What is Brookline? I wouldn't have known that either, but I also don't like giving away $1,000, so that's why it's hard. Pick us another one.
One more thing for 1,000.
This 1999 iMac revision included RGB output, additional RAM and storage, and the new software, iMovie. Yes, Quinn.
What is the G3 Titanium?
The G3 is not an iMac.
Isn't it?
What is the iMac DV, or iMac Digital Video?
Wow.
Oh my God, let's just go to Android treats for 200.
Although this was the third major Android release, it was the first to have a sweet moniker. Marquez.
What is Cupcake?
Correct.
Android 400?
This lower fat Android version debuted in May 2010. What is Froyo?
Let's go Android 600.
This was the final Android version to be named for a dessert. Yes, Quinn.
What is marshmallow?
Do you eat marshmallows for dessert?
Yeah,
Do you eat them not for dessert?
Marquez.
What is pie?
Correct.
I think you should
Okay.
raise a hand for that one.
You an adult
Well, pie was-
eat marshmallows for dessert. Also, pie comes
Every day.
after M, so.
Let's go Android 800.
The only Android revision with a 3-word name. Yes, Quinn.
What is ice cream sandwich?
Absolutely. Now that's a dessert.
Critical color for 600.
Prior to Snow Leopard, Apple computers shipped with this value set to 1.8. Now they use the more popular 2.2 by default. What is Gamma?
Let's do schooled for 400, please.
This school hosts one of the 13 root name servers. Hopefully they move data more quickly than their turtle mascot. Yeah, these ones are devilishly difficult. This is University of Maryland, College Park.
Let's go to another category. Critical color for 400, please.
Dolby Vision improves upon HDR10 with its use of this, which allows tone mapping on a scene-by-scene or even frame-by-frame basis. What is dynamic metadata?
I did a video on that like 6 months ago.
Yeah, you should have watched it.
Let's do critical color for 800.
Most HDR movies are mastered to the DCI-P3 color space. However, they are delivered to consumers in this larger color space container. Quinn.
What is Rec 709?
Sorry. What is Rec 2020?
It's visual artifacts for 600, please.
Backlight strobing can reduce this motion artifact prevalent on OLED displays. So what is judder?
We're just learning things at this point.
This is cool.
Let's do Android treats for 1,000.
The two versions of Android to feature branded sweet treats. Marquez.
What is Oreo and Kit Kat?
Correct.
Critical color 1000, please.
This is a 3-dimensional representation of a display's ability to express its color gamut at any given luminosity, up to the display's peak brightness, of course. What is color volume?
Schooled 200.
Google's servers were originally hosted at this post-secondary institution. What is Stanford University?
Schooled 600.
You might be forgiven for thinking that this private alma mater of Elon Musk is actually a public school. What is University of Pennsylvania?
Artifacts 200.
Ah, we're gonna change gears. Oh, good. RIP. Your display is showing information from multiple frames at the same time. You have just experienced this artifact. Marquez.
What is tearing?
Correct.
Artifacts 400.
We've got a bonus question where you wager your money. Now, here's the thing. You're out far enough with $3,300 that Quinn at 100 and Justine at minus 1,100 don't have much of a chance to close the gap, but you could win so much more.
It's really tempting. Artifacts, how well do I know them? Let's go 300.
This melodramatic effect is caused by the screen creating new frames to put in between existing ones.
What is smoothing?
Can you be more specific?
What is motion smoothing?
I'll accept it. We had
Okay.
soap opera effect or interpolation, but you're describing fundamentally the same thing.
Love it. Let's go artifacts 800.
When a lens fails to focus all colors to the same point, you get this artifact seen as fringes along edges. Marcus.
What is chromatic aberration?
That's right.
Artifacts, love them. Let's go 1,000.
This process of converting cinematic 24 FPS video to 30 frames per second can cause visual artifacts, especially during slow pans. What is 3-2 pull down?
Let's go to school for 800.
Yes, let's. This Pittsburgh-based school was the birthplace of the emoticon. Yes, Justine?
What is Carnegie Mellon University?
Absolutely.
What is Schooled for 1,000?
Alan Turing is one of the most notable alumni of both Cambridge and this Ivy League institution. What is Princeton? That concludes our second round, but of course there is still our final tech trivia question, answered in the form of a question, and the category will be software. Unfortunately, Justine, because you are under $0, you will not be able to wager anything, but Marquez can bet up to his entire $4,400 to double his money, or Quinn can bet up to $100 to double his money, which is less than Marquez's, but hey, double is better than nothing. So take a moment and write down how much you'd like to wager. We will be back after the break. This event is sponsored by Intel. Their new 11th gen core processors feature Deep Learning Boost, PCI Express 4.0, and support for DDR4 memory speeds up to 3200 megahertz. Learn more in the video description down below. And we're back. A reminder, the category is software. And the question, if you are ready, is, this program, purchased by Apple in 1998, originally went by the name KeyGrip. Now, Justine, this is a little unconventional since you're not strictly speaking participating, but I'd love to hear if you happen to know the answer to this one. So can you go ahead and, that is
I was
a very...
all of us hanging together post-pandemic.
That is a wonderful drawing. Thank you very much.
Here all day.
Let's move on. Quinn, let's have a look. Oh, I can't read that from here, darn it.
Oh, it says, what is
File Vault.
File Vault?
Sorry, File Vault was not originally known as KeyGrip. And what did you wager?
All of my money.
All of your money, okay. That's okay. You came out exactly as big a man as you were coming in, and with the same amount of money. And Marquez,
Zero.
let's have a look at what you came up with. What is iMovie? Boy, that was a lot closer than anything else was. The answer is Final Cut. Let's see how much you wagered. Thank you, you gave $69 of my money back. But the good news is, congratulations! Marquez Brownlee, you are advancing to our champions round with a total of $4,331 of my money. Our runners-up are taking $1,000 as a consolation prize for coming and being punching bags for our audience for not knowing this very simple stuff that I am absolutely an expert about, because you guys know how the commenters go with this stuff. Okay, look people, it's a lot harder than it looks. They've got like 5 seconds. And there's so much pressure. And Marquez didn't crumble under the pressure like pretty much everyone else. So, a big round of applause, and we will see you all. This LTT event is unsurprisingly also sponsored by LTTstore.com. Viewers of Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question can purchase a 21-ounce classic orange LTT water bottle and get any color of our keyboard t-shirt for free while quantities last. LTTstore.com. It's a website.
This is Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question. Today's contestants are a runner-up from Scrapyard Wars Season 5, from Diamond Bar, California, Paul Heimlich, a professional Lyle impersonator, from Los Angeles, Kyle Hansen, and an LTTstore.com fashion model, from Florida, Brett Stelmazek. And now, here he is, the host of Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question, Linus Sebastian.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question. Thank you, Riley, and a big thank you to our contestants for coming here today. Our categories for today are Have Some Drive, Console Wars, GPUs Get the Views, Not So Hot Plugs, Keeping It Cool, and John's GeoGuessr. As is customary, Paul, you are on the far left and you will be making the first selection.
Thanks, Linus. I'll take GPUs Get the Views for 100, please.
This now defunct GPU company was bought by NVIDIA in the year 2000. Brett.
What is Rivian?
I'm sorry, Brett. Are you guys serious right now? The answer is 3DFX, as I'm sure the audience is shrieking into their screens. Brett, you get to go again anyway, though, because nobody got that.
I'll take GPUs Get the Views for 200, please.
This dark-sounding part of the graphics pipeline determines, among other things, the color of each pixel. Paul.
What are shaders?
Correct.
Same category for 300, please, Linus.
This was NVIDIA's first ever consumer GPU. Kyle.
What is the Voodoo Effects?
I'm sorry, Kyle. Well, Paul, it's okay you didn't get that one because it seems like allowing Kyle and Brett to defeat themselves might be a winning strategy here. The answer was the GeForce 256. Paul, go ahead.
Same category, 400, please.
The Mystique graphics card from this company featured slots for installing more video memory. Paul.
What is Voodoo Effects?
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. The answer is Matrox, but you get to choose again.
We'll finish the category for 500.
The GL in OpenGL stands for this. Brett.
What is graphics language?
I'm sorry, Brett. Paul.
What is graphics layer?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Paul. Kyle, do you want to take a stab at it?
I have no idea. What is good luck?
Library was the L word we were
This is hard.
Well, the thing is, there's no separate pool for prize money and production budget money, so you are effectively winning my money. There was no incentive for me to make it easy. Paul, go ahead.
Let's do Have Some Drive for 100.
Although headquartered in California, this maker of storage devices shares its name with the capital of Jamaica. Yes, Brett.
What is Kingston?
Digging yourself out of that hole a little bit at a time. Brett, go ahead.
Console Wars for 100.
This was the first home gaming console with a mechanical hard drive. Kyle.
What is the Xbox?
Yes.
Console Wars for 200.
In Japan, the Sega Genesis went by this supersized name. What is Mega Drive? But go ahead and choose again.
We'll do Console Wars 300.
The inventor of this first ever home console was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Kyle.
Oh, I read that wrong. I don't know.
Don't penalize him, it's fine. The answer is, what is the Magnavox Odyssey?
Oh, let's do Keeping It Cool for 100.
This metal is commonly used in water cooling thanks to its high thermal conductivity and resistance to corrosion. Kyle.
What is Copper?
That is correct. You're in the lead at minus $100.
Keeping It Cool for 200.
Popularized in the early 2010s, the slang term radage refers to a PC build's total surface area of these. Brett.
What are radiators?
That is correct.
Keeping It Cool for 300.
Known for being reliable and powerful, this renowned cylindrical liquid cooling pump is designed by Lang. Yes, Paul.
What is the D5?
That is correct, Paul. Things are heating up in the cooling category. Paul, you have the floor.
Let's go back to Console Wars for 400.
Pokemon Contests, not to be confused with Pokemon Battles, made their debut on this console? Yes, Brett.
Was the Nintendo 64?
I'm sorry, Brett. What is the Game Boy Advance? Paul, go ahead.
Let's finish the category.
This Tiger-branded flop was the first console that could connect to the internet. Game.com.
Let's do keeping it cool for 400, Linus.
The external radiator pictured here was part of a noiseless and fanless water cooling system from this company. Really? The answer, of course, is who is Zalman?
Keeping it cool for 500, please, Linus.
This product, invented by Andre Ericsson, popularized phase change CPU cooling in the early 2000s. What is VapoChill?
Let's try John's GeoGuessr for 100.
This category is really hard.
Okay.
Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which hosts several of the world's fastest supercomputers, is in this US state better known for country music. Yes, Brett.
What is Tennessee?
That is correct.
John's GeoGuessr for 200.
This European country held the world's first nationwide election via internet in the year 2007. What is Estonia?
Same category, 300.
Fittingly, cooling company EK Waterblocks hails from this country that features a snowy mountain on its national flag. Yes, Brett.
Was Slovenia?
That is correct.
Same category, 400.
Windows Installer shares its original codename with this capital of Australia's Northern Territory. What is Darwin?
Finish off the category for 500.
AMD was headquartered in this Bay Area city before moving back to Santa Clara. Paul.
What is Fremont?
I'm sorry, Paul. Kyle.
What is San Jose?
I'm sorry, Kyle. What is Sunnyvale? Paul, in spite of having the fewest points out of any of the contestants, you still get to pick the next question.
Let's go back to have some drive for 200.
Let's do. You might know this company from its rainbow of hard drive models. Kyle.
What is WD?
That is correct.
Same category, 300.
This manufacturer of SSDs and DRAM has a name that sounds very important. Kyle.
What is Crucial?
That is correct.
More of the same, 400.
OCZ, known for making SSDs, is now part of this Japanese conglomerate. Kyle.
What is Toshiba?
That is correct. For the first time of the day, Kyle has broken through the $0 barrier. Great job, Kyle.
Have some drive for 500, please.
This Taiwanese company, known for making optical drives, sounds like something you might do when entering a dark room. Kyle.
What is Light On?
What is Light On? He's cleaning up! We got a ringer, boys!
I'll take not so hot plugs for 100.
For a balanced approach, pro streamers often eschew USB microphones for models that use this connector. Brett.
What is XLR?
Correct.
Not so hot plugs for 200, please.
Brett, you have found our bonus question where you wager your money. You have only negative $200, but we still allow you to wager up to $500. So how much would you like to wager?
How much does Paul have right now?
Minus 900.
I'll do the full 500 then.
Okay then. This motherboard slot that debuted in 1998 is not to be confused with the modern interface used by most graphics cards.
What is PCI?
PCI did not debut in 1998. The answer is, what is PCI X or PCI Extended? But you get to pick our next question though.
Let's go for 300.
The mini DIN connector was used for this standard, popular on DVD players. Kyle.
What is Mini SATA?
I'm sorry, Kyle. Mini SATA was not used on DVD players. I think you're thinking of DVD drives. The answer is, what is S-Video?
Same category, 400.
The standard internal data connector for 3.5-inch parallel ATA hard drives had this many pins. Yes, Paul.
What is 48?
I'm sorry, Paul. The answer is, what is 40?
Last one. 500, please.
This 21-pin AV connector originated in 1970s France. The answer is, what is SCART? At the end of round 1, Kyle is leading the pack with $500 of my money, while Brett and Paul both actually seem to be determined to help me fund the show. Remember though, ladies and gentlemen, that the second round is worth double the amount, so this is still anyone's game. We will be back very shortly after this message from our sponsor. Make overclocking simple with Intel's Performance Maximizer and Extreme Tuning utility for their new 11th Gen Core processors. These tools make it easy to create a personalized profile with custom settings and achieve clock speeds of up to 5.3 GHz. Learn more about overclocking your Intel processor at the link down below. Now, Brett, you're in the middle of the pack, but there is a consolation prize. You're out ahead of a legend in the tech YouTube space. Paul, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like if I have to pay you this money, it was either this or LTT store merch, so it's about the same.
So you can't really lose then.
No, it's all going to you.
As for you, Kyle, you can lose. Just how much of my money are you planning to take home today?
I honestly wasn't expecting to win anything, so like I was planning to shoot a video later today, but now I might, if I win, I can't do that anymore. So
go ahead and spend it on something fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Paul, what prep, if any, did you do for the show today?
I did zero prep, Linus. I was just relying on my innate, historical knowledge of technology, and it's been failing me. It's been failing me pretty hardcore today.
I believe you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for round 2. The categories are early search engines, hot chips, Canadian technology, error codes, Saturdays are for the BIOS, and the 1990s. As our lowest scoring contestant, Paul, you have the floor.
Let's try Saturdays are for the BIOS for 400.
This common brand of BIOS software might just make you feel like a winner. What is Award BIOS?
Saturdays are for the BIOS for 800.
A modern version of the BIOS, UEFI, is an initialism for this. Paul.
What is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface?
That is correct.
Let's do hot chips for 400.
You have found one of our 2 bonus questions where you wager your money. How much would you like to put up?
I'm gonna do the full 500.
The design of this type of transistor includes a conductive channel raised above the surface of the chip, reminiscent of a fish's dorsal appendage.
What is a 3D transistor?
I'm sorry, the answer was, what is FinFET?
Let's do hot chips for 800.
This was the first x86 processor that AMD developed in-house. What is the K5?
Let's do Canadian Tech for 600.
This manufacturer of networking equipment had nearly 100,000 employees before going bankrupt. What is Nortel?
Error codes for 600, please, Linus.
This was the more formal name for the Xbox 360's infamous 3-light red ring of death. What is general hardware failure?
Let's go for early search engines for 200.
This search engine might have made you feel like you had your own personal butler. Brett.
What is Ask Jeeves?
Correct.
Take the 1990s for 200.
This much-hyped operating system was Microsoft's only one to get a second edition due to bugs. Yes, Paul?
What is Windows 98?
That is correct.
The 1990s for 1,000.
This Netscape-affiliated search engine's name literally suggested its function. What is InfoSeek?
Early search engines for 1,000, please, Linus.
Hosted in Scotland, this search engine from 1993 was the first to use a bot to index pages. Frankly, I didn't expect anyone to get this one, but you could have impressed me. What is JumpStation?
Let's do Canadian Tech for $200.
This Markham-based company produced a line of GPUs before it was purchased by AMD. Paul.
What is ATI?
Correct.
Canadian Tech for 1,000.
This former CEO of Ontario-based BlackBerry tried and failed several times to buy an NHL franchise. Who is Jim Balsil?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Early search engines for 600.
This 2-letter domain name, originally a search engine, now directs to a page for buying Disney tickets. What is Go.com?
Let's do the 1990s for 600. Try to make a grid.
This personal audio recorder was popularized by the movie Home Alone 2. Really? What is the Talkboy?
Error codes for 200, please.
This numerical code is returned when a user tries to access a web page that can't be found. Paul.
What is 404?
Correct.
I have to finish the grid with error codes for 1,000.
IP0 on fire was a printer error originally generated by this operating system, though it didn't necessarily mean that the printer was actually aflame. What is Unix? Paul, let's continue our trend of you picking all the questions.
I don't want to pick it so symmetrical now, but all right, error codes for 400.
A notoriously confusing message in DOS asks the user if they want to abort, retry, or do this in the event of a disk error. Abort, retry, or fail.
I knew that. I'm afraid of giving you money, Linus. Canadian SEK for $400, please.
With its headquarters in Ottawa, this company now owns WordPerfect. Corel.
Let's finish Canadian SEK for 800.
Although Slack is now headquartered in San Francisco, it was founded in this Canadian city. What is Vancouver? You know, guys, the show is called Tech Trivia Answered. It doesn't say that I have to answer all of it.
Doesn't say that we have to answer it either, though.
Paul, go ahead.
Error codes for 800, please, Linus.
The PC in PC load letter does not stand for personal computer, but for this. Paper cassette.
Let's do early search engines for 800.
This service with a canine name aggregates results from other search engines. What is Dogpile?
Early search engines for 400, please, Linus.
This search engine's name means high view in Spanish. Paul.
What is Alta Vista?
Yes. And to shake things up, Paul will be choosing the next hint.
Let's do the 1990s for 400, please.
Originally called Control Video Corporation, this company became known for flooding mailboxes with promotional CDs. Brett.
What is AOL?
That is correct. You guys just wanted to create all the suspense at the end.
Same category for 800, please.
You have found our bonus question where you wager your money.
I will do 100.
Okay, you're going for a not negative balance. Bah! Named for a country music diva. In 1996, this sheep was the first mammal cloned from an adult somatic cell.
Who is Dolly?
That is correct. Too bad you didn't wager a bit more. Brett, go ahead.
Let's do hot chips for 200, please.
This budget lineup of Intel CPUs made its debut in 1998. Brett.
What is Celeron?
That's right.
Hot chips for 600, please.
This hyped up instruction set extension introduced with the Pentium P5 has a name that doesn't officially stand for anything.
I clicked it.
Paul.
What is AVX?
Sorry, Paul. What is MMX?
Saturdays are for the BIOS for 200, please.
Your PC should be able to pass this test, which sounds like something you might tie a horse to. Brett.
What is Post?
Correct.
Same category for 600, please.
This feature allows you to update the BIOS without a CPU or DRAM. Brett.
What is BIOS Flashback?
That is correct. You are now in the lead at $1,000.
We'll do Saturdays are for the BIOS for 1,000, please.
This harmonious sounding word is the C in CMOS. What is complementary?
I'll do hot chips for 1,000.
This was the first iPhone system on chip that Apple designed themselves. What is the A4? That concludes our second round, but the game is not over just yet. We still have our final tech trivia answered in the form of a question. Now, unfortunately, Paul, because you are below $0, you will not get to participate in the final question, but both Kyle and Brett will have an opportunity to hear the category, then decide how much of their winnings they would like to wager. The category is GPU firsts, and you guys can go ahead and write down your wager. We'll be back after this break. Thanks to Intel for sponsoring today's show. With Intel Iris Xe graphics, you can play your favorite AAA games at 1080p on an ultra-portable gaming laptop. Learn more about Intel's 11th Gen Core laptop processors at the link down below. And the bets are in. It is now time for our final tech trivia answered in the form of a question. And the question is, the original Mortal Kombat arcade game contained a chip that many consider to be the world's first programmable GPU made by this company. Being ineligible to answer, we just asked Paul to kind of draw something. Oh, hey, whoa, cut those cameras, cut those cameras. It's a live show here, Paul.
Can you fix it in post?
Kyle, let's see what you came up with. What is NVIDIA? I'm sorry, Kyle, that is not correct.
Darn.
Let's find out how much Kyle wagered. $500, leaving Kyle with exactly what you came in with today. Brett, what is question mark, and I believe that's a smiley face.
That is correct.
The answer, not a bunch of question marks, is Texas Instruments. But Brett, the real question here is, how much did you wager? $1. That means that's it. Brett from UFD Tech, congratulations. You are moving on to the winner's round with $999 of my money. Now, the funny thing about Brett's winnings here is that we decided ahead of the show that the runner-up prize would be $1,000 of my money. So Brett, by wagering his $1, actually ended up with less prize money than both Paul and Kyle are walking away with today. That's the thing about game shows and live productions, is you can't really predict what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happened today. Another big thank you to our sponsor, Intel, for making this possible. A huge thank you to our contestants for coming up and demonstrating their tech trivia medal in front of all of you beautiful viewers. We are going to be back with new questions, new categories, and new guests in Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question. For a limited time, viewers of Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question can snag a free 2021 sticker pack with all purchases from the best store in human history, lttstore.com. While supplies last, see the link down below for details.
This is Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question. Today's contestants are an ultimate Frisbee player, hailing from New Jersey, Marquez Brownlee, an lttstore.com fashion model. From Florida, Brett Stelmazek. And actually, there's no one there. Linus, what do I do?
I got you! I'm just gonna get this. She's closer.
And now, here is the backup host of Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question, James Stride.
Thank you, Riley. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to our celebrity and very weird contestants. Also, thank you to Intel, if they even still want to be involved. Let's take a look at the categories. Phased out, talking shop, techronyms, name that YouTuber, you hack, and the game was better. Brett, you're on the left, so why don't you start us off? Make a selection.
I'll take name that YouTuber for 100.
One of Linus' countrymen, this frontman is known for extreme culinary creations rather than tech.
Was Binging with Babish?
Sorry, Brett, that is incorrect.
What is Epic Mealtime?
Name the person, please.
Harley Mortstein.
We will accept it. Guys,
Well, that took a second.
please let me say your names before you give your responses.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
'Kay.
I'll let it slide.
Also, who is?
Oh, he didn't who is either?
No!
Thanks, Marquez.
Yeah, we can't let him rig the whole thing.
Brett, why don't you make another selection?
I'll take Name That YouTuber for 200, please.
Hailing from Mexico, she started her makeup channel in 2009 and has since amassed over 2.5 billion views. YouTuber we're looking for is Yuya. Brett, go again.
I'll take Techronyms for $100.
A wired network you might have at your house. Marquez.
What is a LAN, local area network?
You got it.
Name That YouTuber, 300.
Kangua Ren, better known by this name, was sentenced by a Spanish court after taking a prank too far. Reset. The YouTuber is Reset. We specifically designed this to see how much YouTube you people actually watch.
I hope so. Name That YouTuber, 400.
You might consider him to be the first ever YouTuber after his famous video taken at a zoo. Linus.
Who is the I Like Turtles kid?
Sorry. Anyone else? Marquez?
Who is Jawed? At least that's the username.
That's the one. Jawed Karim.
YouTuber, 500.
This rapper infamously proclaimed that England was his city in a Jake Paul video. Brett?
Who is Nick Crompton?
You got it.
I'll take Techronyms for 200.
This body, with a number in its initialism, sets standards for the web. Yeah, a little tricky wording there. This is W3C.
Techronyms for 300, please.
Oh, answer there. The bonus question where you wager your money. Brett, you have up to $500 at your disposal for betting.
I'll do 100.
6-letter initialism for laptop expansion cards introduced in 1990.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We're looking for...
PCMCIA, come on.
Okay, weird flex, but it's PCMCIA. You still have control of the board, Brett.
Techronyms for 400.
Humorous 6-letter acronym suggesting user error, not an issue with the computer. Brett.
What is ID10T?
No. Linus?
What is PEBCAC?
PEBCAC, Picnic, PEBMAC, all acceptable.
Phased out for 100.
Betamax, lost out to this familiar format. Brett.
What is VHS?
That's the format.
Phased out for 200.
This Blu-ray competitor lost the format war partly due to a confusing name. Marquez.
What is HDD?
Correct.
Talking Shop, 100.
This Southern California-based online retailer's name was chosen to signify a fresh beginning. Marquez.
What is Newegg?
That's the retailer.
Sweet. Talking Shop, 200.
This was Best Buy's chief rival in the US until its physical stores were shut down in 2009. Brett.
What is CompUSA?
Nope. Marquez.
What is Circuit City?
You got it.
Phased out, 300.
This super floppy product from iOmega had its heyday in the mid to late 1990s. Linus.
What is Zip Drive?
That's the one.
I'll take phased out for 400.
The IEEE 1284 port was best known as a way to connect these devices. Printers, guys.
I didn't want to guess.
Phased out for 500.
This was the main analog TV color system used in France and Russia before the digital transition. It was CCAM.
I'm so glad I didn't buzz that. I'll take Talking Shop for 300.
This now online-only retailer, founded in 1985, has a feline-sounding name. Linus.
What is Tiger Direct?
That's the retailer.
Talking Shop for 400.
This British retailer is named after a popular hobby within the PC DIY community. Brett.
What is Overclockers UK?
You got it.
.co.uk. Are you accepting it?
We would have accepted Overclockers.
All right.
You're still winning, Linus. It's okay.
I don't think I am. I think Marquez is winning.
You're not last.
I'll take Talking Shop for 500.
This tourist spot in Tokyo's Akihabara area is Japan's largest electronics retail store. You Philistines, it's Yodobashi Akiba.
Oh,
cool.
I knew that.
Techronyms for 500.
4-letter initialism, that's a catch-all for cable and satellite TV services. Linus?
What is HDTV?
No.
I mean, is it not?
Not what we're looking for here.
I challenge.
You don't even know the answer yet.
Doesn't matter.
We're looking for MVPD. Pick another one.
I'll take
Brett.
The Game Was Better for 100.
Jim Carrey was the antagonist in this film featuring an iconic blue character. Brett.
Was Sonic the Hedgehog?
That's the film.
Take The Game Was Better for 200.
She played Lara Croft in a pair of Tomb Raider movies in the early 2000s. Brett.
Who is Angelina Jolie?
That's the actress.
I'll take same category for 300.
In 1993's live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie, Koopa turned Daisy's father into a life form from this biological kingdom. Brett.
Was the Mushroom Kingdom?
Sorry? We are looking for biological kingdoms like animal, plant, and fungus.
Ah.
Oof.
The Game Was Better for 400, please.
Far Cry was just one of many video game adaptations from this German director. Linus.
Who is Yu Bull?
His movies really suck. That's right, choose again.
I'll take The Game Was Better for 500.
Vanna White had a cameo in this 1994 film based on the fighting game of the same name. Brett.
Was Street Fighter?
No. Linus.
What is Mortal Kombat?
Not the right one, nope.
Is there a Tekken movie?
Double Dragon. Double Dragon.
You hack for 500.
He was the first person to be convicted by the US federal government of a computer hack, and later went on to teach at MIT. Looking for Robert Tappan Morris.
You hack for 400.
This hacker said he spent time in solitary confinement because prosecutors convinced a judge he could launch nuclear weapons by whistling into a phone. Kevin Mitnick, also known as Condor.
Sounds like a freak. Get it?
No.
Freaking, it's the thing where you whistle into a phone.
Oh, nice.
Fine.
Well, you better win this tech trivia game.
Same category for 100.
This 2010 hack targeted Iran's nuclear program. You guys, Stuxnet.
Same category for 200.
This 1983 film features a teenage hacker who unwittingly triggered a Cold War crisis. Brett.
Was War Games?
That's the one, Matthew Broderick.
Same category for 300.
One of Anonymous' primary targets was this new religious movement. Brett.
Was Scientology?
That is the religious movement, and that is the end of the first round of this game. Pretty close game, really, considering that we have questions worth $1,000 in the next round, double tech trivia answered in the form of a question. We'll see it after this message from our sponsor.
Tech Trivia is brought to you by Intel. Stream, record, and create with the power of Intel 11th Gen Core processors designed to provide high-end performance while gaming, multitasking, or editing. Learn more about 11th Gen Intel Core desktop processors in the description down below.
Welcome back, and you can tell I'm smiling from the creases beside my ancient eyes. Linus, now that you've had the opportunity to be at the lectern with a buzzer in hand, how much money do you really think you'll be able to not give away in this game?
Oh my God, I think I'm gonna lose, so
See you later. Marquez, clearly you're the most successful person on the stage today. Can you tell me what's the stupidest thing you've ever bought with your YouTube money?
Probably an entire game show set once.
Are we owned by Marquez? How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
I'd say a good 600.
He's not wrong. Now back to the show. This is double tech trivia answered in the form of a question where the point values are twice as high as they were in the first round, meaning it's anyone's game. Marquez is leading with 1,000, Brett has 200, and Linus is in the hole, meaning he has to pay everyone present, I guess. Here's your categories: home theater, display play, programming and its languages. Hey, here's one of them: Linux, howdy neighbor, and the famous before and after category. Linus, start us off since you're so far in the hole.
I'll take home theater for 1,000.
These curves of equal loudness were pioneered by the eponymous researchers in the 1930s. Looking for Fletcher Munson curves.
Home theater for 800.
This type of screen prevents light reflected off your theater's walls and ceiling from washing out the image. Linus?
What is a gray or black screen?
No. What is an ambient light rejecting screen, or an ALR?
Challenge.
Okay.
Home theater for 600.
Three-word name given to the kind of projector that's placed close to the screen rather than from across the room. Linus?
What is a short throw projector?
I feel pity for you, so we'll give it to you. We're looking for ultra short throw or UTS projector. Choose another category, please.
Home theater for 400.
The psychoacoustic phenomenon of a sound source appearing to emanate from a point between two stereo speakers creates this spooky speaker. That is a phantom center speaker.
Home theater for 200.
DTS:X is a competitor to this object-based surround sound system designed by Dolby. Brett.
What is Dolby Atmos?
That's right, Atmos.
Let's do howdy neighbor for 200, please.
Hi, Sarah Dici, rhymes with Peachy here. This is my Tesla Model Y, which I bought by selling $60,000 worth of this digital gold.
Marquez.
What is Bitcoin?
That's the cryptocurrency.
Let's do howdy neighbor 400.
Why hello there, I'm Austin Evans and this is my Nintendo GameCube. Not only was this one of the greatest consoles of all time, but it was also the very first Nintendo console to launch without a Mario-centered game. Instead, it launched with this game from the same franchise instead.
You guys never rushed down to McDonald's to play Luigi's Mansion? That was the only place in my town that had a GameCube.
Howdy neighbor 600.
Steve here. This is from a GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition card. It's one of the best video cards that NVIDIA ever made, and a mistake that NVIDIA won't ever make again. But it didn't have a dual-link DVI port on the card. It did, however, have one of these adapters in the box.
Linus.
What is DisplayPort to DVI?
Can you be more specific? We are looking for a DisplayPort to single-link DVI.
DVI is single-link DVI. Dual-link DVI is dual-link DVI.
Okay, well that could actually be valid. We'll talk about that later.
Howdy neighbor 1000.
What's up, Jay2Cents here, and one of my favorite CPUs is the lowest end part in the initial Conroe lineup. It traded blows with Intel's former flagship, the Pentium Extreme 965, despite having half the clock speed.
Linus.
What is the 8400?
Nope, not that one. Chip was the E6300, the E6300.
Let's go before and after for 600.
Answer there. Bonus question where you wager all your money.
Oh man, I don't know anything about this category yet.
Correct responses to these hints will create sort of a portmanteau of two words that are hinted at by the clue.
Oh, let's just go 100 for this one.
Microsoft's flagship 9th gen gaming console with a file system optimized for flash memory.
I don't know. Xbox something, no idea.
We're looking for Xbox Series X FAT.
Oh wow, got it. Before and after 200.
Colorful name for Intel following a fatal Windows system error. Marquez?
What is Big Blue Screen of Death?
Does anyone call Intel Big Blue?
That's IBM, is usually.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not gonna work. Anybody else? Brett?
Was Blue Screen of Death?
No. We're looking for Team Blue Screen of Death.
All right, before and after 400.
American Semiconductor Company, bringing competition back to the CPU space, that builds quantum computers in British Columbia. AMD Wave systems, so AMD and D.
Sorry, these are real things that people say?
AMD is a semiconductor company bringing competition back to the CPU space. D-Wave is a quantum computer company.
Right, but people combine these? Or am I supposed to be like finding two specific answers and then just saying them?
This is a Jeopardy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What's Jeopardy? We're gonna get one. We're gonna get one. Before and after 800.
Core logic chipset connected to the CPU via the front side bus, where multiple routers share one Wi-Fi network without an IP address conflict.
Northbridge switch?
Nope.
Multiple routers. Oh,
We are looking for Northbridge mode.
Howdy neighbor 800.
Zach from Jerry Rig Everything here. My wife and I built this contraption. It's not a wheelchair, but it does have a name. What do we call it?
Oh my god, I watched this video.
I thought that was the name.
The device itself is called the Rig.
I totally watched the video.
Every game seems to have a spot like this.
Display play for 400.
These nanocrystals convert light according to their size. Linus.
What are quantum dots?
That's them.
Display play for 200.
This variable refresh rate technology, created by VESA, is supported by the HDMI 2.1 standard. Brett.
What is adaptive sync?
That's the tech.
I'll take before and after for 1,000.
The time it takes for a pixel to change from one value to another while measuring the round-trip time of an artificial light signal provided by a laser or an LED. You're gonna love this one. Pixel response time of flight sensor. They were really fun to write.
I'll take programming and its languages for 200.
This musical sounding programming language was developed by Microsoft as part of its .NET initiative. Marquez.
What is tenor?
Nope. Anyone else? C#.
I'll take programming and its languages for 600, please.
This open source framework, created by Facebook, enables a single code base to service multiple platforms. We're looking for React Native.
Same category for 1,000.
This relaxed name is given to APIs that conform to the architectural style described in Roy Fielding's doctoral dissertation. You got your gets, your puts, RESTful APIs, or REST.
Same category for 800.
This logical operator outputs true if one and only one of its conditions is met. That would be an XOR, or exclusive OR.
Same category for 400.
Why are you doing this to us?
In contrast to procedural programming, this programming paradigm is built around elements that contain both data and methods. Oop, it's object-oriented programming.
Let's do Linux for 600, please.
Ubuntu became one of the most popular Linux distributions in the world after basing itself on this distro.
I have no idea.
Linus.
Gonna take a wild guess. Red Hat?
Nope. Anyone else?
All right.
You know, Linus, if you don't guess, you don't lose money. Debian. Ubuntu is based on Debian.
All right, I'll take Linux for 800, please.
It only gets worse in this Linux category, I'll tell you. There's still dispute as to whether Linus Torvalds took a little too much inspiration from this OS created by Andrew Tenenbaum. Linus?
What is GNU?
Sorry, nope. Proto-OS is Minix.
Same category for 1,000.
This command forces deletion of everything in the root directory. rm-rf/.
Same category for 200, please.
This is Linux's well-dressed animal mascot. Marquez?
What is a penguin?
Sorry, we're looking for the mascot's name.
Oh, the name? A tuxedo penguin? I don't know the name.
Linus.
Who's Tux?
Tux is the mascot.
Oh my god.
Linux for 400.
While some parts are written in assembly language, Linux is mostly written in this middling programming language. Middle of the road, C.
Display play for can I even? Okay, here we go. Display play for 600.
Individual display screens are cut from these larger sheets of substrate with a parental name. Linus.
What is mother glass?
Mother glass is correct.
Display play for 800.
Answer there. Bonus question where you wager your money. You can wager up to $500.
Well, I guess I'll just go for it, won't I?
You're doing great, Linus.
All right, the judges have made a determination as to the two questions that Linus contested, one being a single link DVI question, the other being the ambient light rejecting screen question. In both cases, we've decided to give it to Linus, not because we really side with his logic, but because at this rate, he's probably not going to be able to participate in final tech trivia answered in the form of a question, and we want to give him a fighting chance. I actually can't remember if you still actually even have an arithmetic chance, but you'll be closer at least.
So I get pity points.
So now you can wager up to 500. And if you get it right, you will only be 1,000 in the hole. And then if you get the subsequent questions right, you might be able to play final tech trivia answered in the form of a question.
I spit on your pity. I wager $1. No, I changed my mind. 500, I want a chance, okay.
Okay. Not to be confused with a transmissive or emissive display, your e-ink tablet uses one of these.
What is a reflective display?
That is the technology.
Well, I'll take display play for 1,000.
A critical barrier to microLED commercialization, this is the process of moving dyes from their native wafer to the display's substrate. Linus?
Substrate, what is substrate transfusion?
Sorry, no.
That was a completely wild swing, so I'm good.
We're looking for mass transfer. Well, Linus, if you had got that right, you still would have only had $0, which technically still isn't enough to make you eligible for playing our final round, final tech trivia answered in the form of a question. But for the contestants who do have money, let's look at the category. Game settings. Our contestants will make their wagers, and we'll see the question after the break.
Big shout out to Intel for making tech trivia answered in the form of a question a reality. Whether you're gaming, doing business, creating, or just mindlessly scrolling a timeline. There's a laptop powered by Intel's 11th gen processors that's optimized for you. Learn more at the link in the video description.
And we're back, and it's a close game. The bets are in. Now, let's see the hint for final tech trivia answered in the form of a question. Originally described in a 2009 NVIDIA white paper, this screen space anti-aliasing algorithm analyzes pixels rather than the game's underlying 3D models. 30 seconds. All right, let's look now to Brett, who had the lowest score going in. Did you come up with the correct answer?
Hey, it's second lowest score.
What is temporal anti-aliasing? That is not the response we're looking for, and how much did it cost you? 40D, leaving you with no D at all. Marquez, what is real-time, is that AA? Real-time
AI.
What is real-time AI? Nope, the answer we were looking for was fast approximate anti-aliasing, or FXAA. How much did that cost you? $31. He is our champion today at $469.
Well done.
No one could have seen this result coming, least of all Linus Sebastian. This probably feels pretty good. What do you have to say to the people watching at home?
This is huge for me. Shout out to mom and dad. I know they're watching, but also I didn't get to study for this, so I'm just really glad my overall tech knowledge paid off today. This was great.
Well, lots of debates have just been settled for life. Join us next time on Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question, where Yvonne will face off against Colton. Just kidding, he's not allowed on camera anymore. Thank you to Intel for sponsoring Tech Trivia Answered in the Form of a Question. Check them out at the link below.